Here we go. We're going to do a quick little lesson on transformations. So we have transformations, which is making an object on a grid move, flip, rotate, or grow. And so for our transformations, we have 4 different types of transformations. They are rotations, reflections, translations, and dilations. A rotation is simply picking a point on the grid where the object will rotate around. So if I look at this drawing right here, we have an original object, and I've rotated it 90 degrees clockwise about the origin. In other words, I've selected this point as a point to rotate my figure around, and I've rotated it 90 degrees about that origin, and I've done the 90-degree rotation clockwise. So when you're describing a rotation, you have to have a degree measurement that you're rotating it by, which direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, and the point at which you rotate it around. Most of the time you'll see problems with the origin, or 0, 0, but it is possible to rotate things around different points as well, and that's no big deal. Next we have reflections. A reflection is kind of like a mirror image. Well, it's exactly like a mirror image, where you have a line of reflection, and this object is going to be reflected over that line. So this drawing, we have a reflection about the line x is equal to 2. So there's x of 1, here's an x of 2, and there's a line here, and that's where I'd put my mirror to make this new object. So that's how you describe a reflection. A translation is just like what you did in stretching and shrinking with the WUMP hats, I believe. And so right here, a translation will be written as a rule, where you have, in this case, we go x plus, let's say that's about 5 units, but then we moved it down maybe 4 units. So our rule here would be x plus 5 comma y minus 4, and that would move my shape. Now I just made up the 5 and the 4 to fit my drawing, but this is how I would describe my rule. Finally, the last one, dilations. Dilations are the only transformations that will make things larger or smaller. All the other transformations will make objects that are congruent, just not necessarily facing the same way or oriented the same way. When we talk about a dilation, we're going to have a center of dilation, just like a center of rotation. And I'm going to draw myself a little triangle here. And you have to dilate things about a point. So essentially I have my point of dilation, and I'm just connecting my points of my vertices from my object. And let's say I have a scale factor or dilation of 2. So the original distance from the center of dilation, let's say, is, so there's 1, right? So then this object is going to be twice as far if I have a scale factor of 2 from the center of dilation. So it's about there. So my new figure is still yellow. But now look like this. So now I end up with a figure that has a scale factor of 2, and it's been enlarged on the grid. And so this is called a dilation. A dilation is the only transformation that makes your object bigger or smaller. So you end up with a similar shape that is not congruent.